We had a wonderful discussion with our committee, provost, and school directors. Outstanding folks. I really enjoyed hearing from everyone, each of it. We had a big group. It was just 5 or 6 of us. We had almost 20 folks. Outstanding. That was great. It was great.
I have to say, the overall
what they've accomplished and the professionalism at that level and being able to just get it together. You know, and
4 short years, 3 short years was not at all. I could have. Yes.
Start without him. He's always the last one. Very comfortable.
Ready?
The meeting of the TSTC Board of Regents is called to order on Thursday, January the 31st, 2019 at 11:06 a.m. Jonathan, if you would ask for additional help for us.
Yes, sir. My pleasure. Let us pray. Lord God in heaven, we humbly come to you this morning with the faith and hope in your promises. We thank you for the many contributors that serve this institution, many who do so very selflessly. Lord, we thank you for the mission that guides us. And as we go about leading this college and as the legislature considers our future, show favor on us. Lord, we pray protection over the members of this family, this TSTC family, and lastly, for any of those in the family that are hurting or struggling, Lord, we just pray peace and comfort over them. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Jonathan. We need to determine a quorum. If you would please state your name and indicate presence.
Ivan Darza present.
Mitch Vermont present.
Pat McDonald, present.
Curtis Cleveland, present.
Tony Abad, present.
Ella Skinner, present. Keith Honey, present.
John Hanson present. We do have a quorum. We'll now consider the agenda for approval, the adoption of the agenda. Are there any amendments to the agenda? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Agenda carries. The next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of the November 28, 2018 meeting. I think each of you have had an opportunity to look at these. Any changes, amendments? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, ayes have it, agenda carries. Thank you. Recognition of guests. Do we have any special guests to recognize? Be recognized. Well, all of our staff sitting behind me are special, but we appreciate y'all being here. Thank you. Okay. We're now down to committee reports and minute orders. First up is student learning.
You don't get a chance.
Well,
Pick me. You can scratch off.
Mr. Cotta.
somebody scratched it off my agenda. I'm sorry, Mr. Chancellor, would you have any short comments?
I have very short comments. Ellis, you may time me.
I
Okay. First, what I'd like to do, if I could, is introduce Jennifer Tyndall to you. Jennifer, would you mind standing up? I told you yesterday about Maddie's promotion over the Fiscal Affairs Division, her first management job with us. And Jennifer, I'd like to introduce you to as someone who has been on the senior staff at the executive level for a number of years, 3 to 4 years now. She brings an amazingly positive attitude and a lot of deep experience. She has a business degree, and she'll be taking Maddie's role as executive assistant to the chancellor and manager of board operations. So going forward, you'll see a transition from Maddie to Jennifer, and I wanted you all to be able to have a chance to meet her when, should you call my office, you'll hear Jennifer's voice instead of Maddie's, and she is an outstanding staffer. And we have great expectations of her in the future as she continues to grow professionally, and we're really glad to have her as part of the support for the governance. So, welcome aboard. So we did such great work yesterday in the working group involving the regents and management team that I don't have any further operational sorts of things to share with you. But what I would like to do is show you 2 videos. The longest one is 2 minutes, so I think you'll really enjoy it. This first one was a video that was specially produced for a recent event at the Capitol. You heard Roger tell you yesterday about the biannual staff legislative briefing, and our marketing people put together this video. The idea of it was to point out the high-tech nature in which we often do what for some schools would be routine technology. Pay attention to how you'll see augmented reality used in the nursing program, and aerial drone systems used in the ag tech system, and computer-operated robotic welders being used in the welding program, and other examples of extreme high-tech being applied to conventional technical tools. And so I'd like to show you this video. So that video was running throughout the prelude and the epilogue to our get-together with staffers. We also had a significant amount of demo equipment and other kinds of things that they could actually put their hands on and experience. And we had over 40 staffers from across the legislature show up for that, so it was a really productive event. The next one has to do with marketing. As you know, we have different stakeholder or segments of the market that we're targeting. I'd like to show you the first ad in a new campaign that is launching this month, February. And this one's targeting millennials, the young people, the fresh grads. And as you know from some of the information you've learned about the different generations, millennials are wired differently than the generations in front of them. And they like the notion of having work environments that are meaningful, that have an impact on the world. They also are very strong into the notions of work-life balance. And so the new series of ads that we will have out there are going to speak to those kind of values and tie together the TSTC brand with those values. We are not selling college in these ads. We're selling the sizzle and not the steak. We're selling the results and not the process. And so this is a lifestyle kind of approach that we're taking. I think you'll be really excited to learn that this first ad is going to run during the Super Bowl in Texas. So I'll show you this.
They say to dance like no one's watching. So do your thing, because life is your adventure. Take the road less traveled and accelerate to the better times. Because the good life and the work you choose are hands-on. It keeps you moving. Because what happens here is just as important as what happens here. They say to dance like no one's watching.
So this campaign will be known as the It's Your Move. The call to action is take action, make a difference in your life. You have control of the lifestyle that you'll have, and TSTC is the avenue through which you can achieve those goals. And so we'll have a series of those going on, and I just wanted to show you step one of that and let you know that in the same way in the past we advertised during the Olympics, we are a frequent advertiser on key places like Texas Ranger Baseball and others. This is one of the public-facing channels of communication that you'll see us with. Those sorts of things will also run on the digital channels like Pandora and Spotify and the others that as old people you will never see. So I wanted to show you that, and with that I conclude my comments.
Thank you, Mike. Those are slick ads. One word about Jennifer. I had the privilege of working with Jennifer in another organization, so I'll be glad to be working with you. All right. Now then, we're going to move to the committee section. The first committee is student learning, student development. Tony?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Chairman, Regents, Chancellor. This morning we had a vibrant, open discussion with provosts across the system, state leaders and directors. It was great. It was heartwarming to get to hear from each and every one of them how they're impacting, how each of those leaders are doing the work of what we're setting. I would encourage each and every one of y'all to get to know them, that we're here. You know, it's not every meeting we get to have the provost and state director. So spend some time and to speak with them and see how they're doing. We had a great discussion, and being able to hear from what they say, I'd like to take the opportunity to recognize them. I'm going to ask Kyle to take some time and tell us who each and every one of these guys are. Guys meaning men and women, of course.
Jeff always gives me the pressure cooker tasks. Let's have everybody that was in the meeting this morning stand up, and I'll just go one by one. Adam Hutchison is the provost here on this campus in Waco, and we have Cindy Kimbrell. She's an associate provost standing in, and also Jerome Mendius here? Okay. He was also in the meeting this morning standing in for Adam. We have Lance Eastman. He offices out of Abilene, provost for, he's over the applied technologies. I'm up here, I told myself I'm not going to bring a piece of paper. I'm going to make my way through this. Lance is over applied technologies, and actually, as a side note, he was pivotal in getting us in to visit 3 other colleges in another state that embrace the competency-based education model that we would like to pursue in the future. So he brought a wealth of experience and again got our foot in the door. Hector Yanez is vice president over academics, and these labels are fairly broad. There are a lot of instructional programs that fall under each of these individuals. And he offices out of Harlingen, so he's our VP for South Texas. Next to him is Marcus Balch. He is our provost for North Texas, the Red Oak area. I'm just going to work my way through in no particular order. Bart Day from East Texas, Marshall, he is our provost. We have Kim Porter, who is our vice president of sales. We have Clydia Hernandez, who is our provost for Harlingen for South Texas. We have Rick Denbo, who is our provost for West Texas, offices in Abilene, and Rick and I have worked together for my tenure in West Texas. We have Edgar Padilla. We're talking about our facility at UCHEC, Hutto, East Williamson County. He is our provost there. We have Rob Woolover. He is an associate vice chancellor over alignment for our team. That's the throughput, input, output. When you hear Jeff reference that, which he does fairly regularly, that all falls under Rob. We have Brian Bowling. He is standing in for Randy Wooten. Brian is the associate provost down at our location. I don't know if we would say Southeast Texas, but Rosenberg and Fort Bend and that area. And so he is again standing in for Randy Wooten, our provost there. And we have Michael Bowers, and he is our vice president for industrial technologies. He offices here on the Waco campus. And so folks like Lance Eastman and Hector and Mike Bowers, they may office in a specific location, but they're over those, whatever program repertoire they're over it for the entire state. So they're out, like a lot of us, making rounds, making visits, and covering the 10 campuses. That's it in a nutshell.
Chairman, could I also introduce Kyle? Thank you for the fabulous job there. Kyle his official title is Deputy Chief Academic Officer, but I refer to him as my other brother, Daryl. He is truly a co-head coach in this initiative that we have ongoing, and brings a tremendous wealth of experience and knowledge and expertise, and he's taking us into, as the rest of us are working on optimizing what we have, Kyle is the one with the ball behind us all, taking us into the future. So I want to appreciate Kyle for all of his work and recognition that he's what he is for all of us. Again, thank you for all the rest of the team. It's really, we represent, we serve Texas, we serve our students, we work at your pleasure, but we have the privilege of representing and working with all of our faculty statewide. Those are the shoulders that we stand upon. We just can't get everyone in this room. So we ask these folks to come on their behalf to say thank you to our faculty members, all the staff positions that support those faculty members, our brothers and sisters in arms here. It's truly a collaborative that we built in our new business model. Rick Herrera's teams across enrollment services and facilities, and Jonathan Hoekstra's teams, and all the vice chancellor staff. We are owning this thing and working this together, and we are very blessed. So I just wanted to recognize all the other folks that aren't in the room that are just as equally important as part of the team. So thank you all, and thank you to all of our faculty, that the chairman and Tony and the chancellor remind us, you know, who's up there in the front lines making our bacon for us. So thank you,
Well,
Mr.
thank
Chairman.
you.
Thank you.
Yes, it was really, truly a blessing to hear from each and every one of them, to see these guys are the TSCC that the community sees, that the industry sees, and they are where the rubber meets the road. And thank you for giving your time and coming over and spending this morning with us. So, again, thanks. Thank you. Thank you. One more thing, we do have a minute order. It says minute order 2-19C, the annual approval of current associate degrees and certificates. We're in our annual approval for the TSCC's instructional programs that have been included in the workbook. The Texas Higher Education rules require that the board approve all for-credit educational offerings. To ensure compliance, this list has been is brought to us annually, and the list consists of programs actively being delivered, while a few of them that you see in your workbook have been inactive. So we will submit that minute order for approval, for y'all's approval. Thank you. And that concludes our report.
Thank you, Tony. Good report. The next up is the General Admissions Committee, and Curtis Cleveland, the chair. Administration, I see.
We first of all have 2 minute orders, and Gail Lawrence is going to present those to us.
Thank you, Regent Cleveland. A couple of housekeeping items. These minute orders, the first one, 03-19C. We're actually asking you to rescind this minute order. As we talked about in the planning session yesterday, prior to single accreditation, we had 4 separate expanded statement of purposes that were tacked onto our mission to reflect each unique identities that our legacy campuses had. And we used that prior to single accreditation, and then this minute order has been in place since then. So in review of our upcoming SACS accreditation, the board has to review and reaffirm our mission and statement of purpose. And basically what we're doing here with this first one is rescinding the extra language of our other legacy locations, because it's not necessary anymore that we're one college. And then in the second minute order, which I'll cover in a minute, it goes back and clearly identifies our mission, which is prescribed by the Texas legislature. So all that to say, the recommendation is that we ask that the Board of Regents rescind the following minute order, 08-15C, the expanded statement of institutional purpose for Texas State Technical College. And once we rescind that, then obviously we need to reaffirm and approve minute order 04-19C, which is the Board of Regents reaffirming the Texas State Technical College mission statement. And yesterday, Chancellor Reeser, as you recall, went through very detailed discussion on our mission, and it's all outlined here, reflecting what we have been authorized to do for the state of Texas. So the recommended minute order is the Board of Regents reaffirms the mission statement of Texas State Technical College. Any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Lawrence. Our committee also spent some time going over the educational partnership agreements that we have, and we felt like it would be important for all of the regents to know which institutions we're talking to on a daily basis. We currently have 3 MOUs in place, and those are with Temple College and Wharton College and Navarro. Elton Stuckley heads up this initiative, and the important thing for all of us to know is that there are lots of colleges that want to be involved with us, but there's a procedure to go through. And so we're going to give everyone a list of all the educational institutions that we are in dialogue with, so that if you come across someone that says, hey, we're interested in TSTC, you can say, we're talking to you. So that's my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Curtis. The next report is going to be facilities and Ellis County.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We met this morning and we have 1 minute order or 1 report, and I'll ask Ray Free to present those.
Thank you, Alice. Good morning. The first minute order is found on page 45 in your book. This minute order is 5-19C and is to approve the concept to replace the fire hydrant loop at Texas State Technical College on the Sweetwater campus. We knew we had issues with our fire system. It was old, and we discovered it wasn't operating to our satisfaction, so we hired an engineering firm, Jacobson Martin, out of Abilene, to do a study for us, to evaluate the system, and to give us an opinion of cost. And what we learned from that study was that it does not meet the NFPA, which is the National Fire Protection Association code, and needs to be replaced. So we're bringing this minute order in front of you to approve the concept, which would authorize the chancellor or his designee to hire an engineer to do a complete design. And when that design is complete, we will bring a project to the board for approval, which will approve the budget amount. So administration is asking that the Board of Regents approve this minute order as written.
Are we going from a 4 to 8 inch line?
Inch line.
The size line is an 8-inch line.
What?
It is an 8-inch line, yes.
That's what we're putting in?
Yes.
What do we have now? 6?
And again, they did a conceptual design, and so it's not totally defined. We'll have an opportunity as the engineer is selected. We'll do an RFQ process. When that engineer is selected, then we'll get into the real detail of what that looks like.
Okay.
John is asking you what size the line is now.
Oh, what is it now? It's probably a 4 or 6 at the most. I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question. It's not, it does not handle the capacity nor the duration that's required by the NFPA. That's what it falls short.
So Ray, this 788,000 referenced here is just a kind of a ballpark number right now?
They call it an opinion, a cost, so they don't have to commit to it, so it's an estimate. And it's some number that I don't want to rely on right now until we get the actual design done. We may be able to improve on that. Are there any other questions? If not, the major project report is found on page 46. So the project report is just to give you the status of the projects that are currently in process or that are anticipated or requesting approval. Project number 1 and 2, both those projects are complete and all the closeout documents are submitted, so we're ready to take them off the list. The numbers in red are what changed, and so you can see the construction cost and the owner's cost on that project created a reserve of $229,350. So that reserve will be used to improve the campus, the Waco campus, some of the parking, and we take those recommendations to the leadership team to approve that budget expense when we have a reserve like this on a project. So it is reviewed. The next project is the monument wayfinding project, and you've seen the progress we've made on that on some of our campuses. In red, you see that we're currently in progress on Harlingen and Sweetwater. The Breckenridge and Brownwood signs are out for an RFP right now, so they'll happen soon. All of these should be complete by April 1. Project number 3, this is the project that was put out to bid and the pricing came in high. I think that was affected by the amount of work that was going on in the area, plus we need to do a better job of selling ourselves to the contractors in that area. We haven't done a lot of construction lately, so that project will be bid this summer along with the fire loop project, and we will go out and make ourselves well known to be sure we get competitive pricing on it. Project number 6, that is the master plan for the Sweetwater housing, which does not meet our expectations at this time. We had a settlement from fire that gave us some funds, so we're going to do a master plan. I'm afraid our appetite is going to be greater than what we're willing to spend on those, but it will create a master plan that we can look at and in the future fold that into our overall master plan, so it'll be a process well worth it. And again, when they're finished, we'll look at how much funds we're ready to commit to that project. If it's over $500,000, we will bring that back to you as a project for approval. And the last project, of course, is the fire loop project, which we're asking for approval on that vendor order. Are there any questions? If not, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you, guys. The next committee is Fiscal Affairs. Keith Honey's chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The committee met this morning, Jonathan Hoekstra and his staff, and had a very good discussion, comprehensive discussion about the minute orders you see before you and the reports that will follow. I'd just like to say Jonathan and his staff continue to do an excellent job with the financial area and the Fiscal Affairs Committee, and just want to commend them for all their work and effort. It's really doing a good job. So I'll ask Jonathan to report on the minute orders and the subsequent reports.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your comments. We have 6 minute orders, mostly routine transactions, and so we'll navigate through those pretty efficiently. If there's any questions, please do ask me to pause as we go. And there'll be 4 customary reports as well. So the first minute order is minute order 0619C on page 49 of your book. And this is the revised schedule of charges for the incidental cost of flight instruction. And this will be effective next fall of 2019. There's, I do anticipate we will have an audit report soon that will address some issues that, or recommend some changes that this minute order actually will address. In our previous schedule, we had some ambiguity and some inconsistencies, and we really tried to get some of that resolved with this actual schedule here. So the schedule of charges was last revised in August of 2017. The current schedule ensures a more efficient use of the simulators and a better ability to make the use of them by the VA students by aligning the instruction and the ability to get funded for those with the new schedule. There's an inclusion of a FAA maintenance test that supports the job readiness for that program. They felt like that was good for placement, and so we thought it was good to support it through our pricing. And then there's just general overall changes that help with simplifying and stating more clearly rates. Specifically, some of the helicopter rates had some ambiguity about whether it was a dry rate, which meant a rate that didn't include fuel, or if it included fuel. And then we had some procedural issues back at the house in terms of implementing it. So anyway, we do believe this sufficiently resolves those issues that'll be identified. We thank Jason for his leadership in helping pointing those things out. On that facility, we're actually seeking to finance through the Texas Public Finance Authority. They actually have an ability to help higher ed institutions, public higher ed institutions, finance facilities, which we were pleased to discover. These are non-taxable rates, and there's really a streamlined process in working with them. We're looking at a term from 5 to 7 years, which the 7 years would take us out to about the time we would launch or reauthorize, we'd get reauthorized TEEP funds and seek financing in that way. And so this would actually line up well with that schedule of financing. Page 53 is minute orders 0919C. This is an interagency agreement between Texas Workforce Commission for the use of office space at TSTC in Waco. This is a very nominal amount of space and very consistent with what we do across the state in having TWC staff on site, and they're able to actually serve our students efficiently by having that arrangement. I think eventually we anticipate maybe a broader delegation of authority to engage in some of these smaller leases, and where we won't have to take every single one of these smaller leases to the Board of Regents. So this is 112 square feet of office space, and we've actually had the General Counsel review the transaction and recommend proceeding. There's a map of where the actual office is located and the related space on the following pages. Minute order 10-19C is on page 57. This one's fun business for a lot of our college community. This is asking the regents to approve our employee holiday calendar for fiscal year 2020. We get ahead of that for planning purposes in adopting what the class or the semester schedule and dates will be like. The Texas legislature actually designates the number of holidays for state agencies. The higher ed institutions have the authority to recategorize those dates and use them in a way that's more efficient, and we make that recommendation here. So there's actually 16 days that are calculated under the statute, and this is the schedule that we have put in front of the board is consistent with other public higher eds in Texas. So this is a fantastic benefit for our employees. We try to remind them of that, and most employees get to take quite a bit of time off, not using vacation between the Christmas period and the New Year's period, and that's a recalibration for a lot of folks. Nobody's sending emails at that time, and it helps make it a little greater place to work. But we also make strategic use of the time, and there are things that occur during that season of a strategic nature that are major and could be disruptive while everybody's here, and we take a good advantage of that. And I'd like to call out, during this last session we had our IT staff come together and migrate our entire server infrastructure to a more modern infrastructure, and they did it successfully. And there was also a number of operations personnel that helped support that and do the testing, so I'd just like to call them out. But I think that's good to know too, that we actually make good use of that time. Those folks would get reallocated time, and they get to use that benefit. But so if the board approves this, we all say thank you as you consider it. Page 60 is minute order 11-19C. It's the schedule of student and family housing rental rates, room and board rates, service charges, and deposits for next fall. And the major change associated with this schedule relates to an increased demand by students of more private dwellings. They don't have their own space, and so they might actually take up a 2-bedroom space or a 2-bed space and have access to their own bathroom. And if there's available capacity, we'd like to offer that at a premium to those students. And so we are appreciative of the housing groups beginning to be a little bit more entrepreneurial in terms of balancing the occupancy and rate dynamics and get the best value for us and for the students. So we do ask for your approval for that new concept of pricing for housing here at TSTC. And there's several pages that follow that, but it's pages 60 through 66. That concludes the minute order or action-oriented part of the agenda. On page 67, begins our reports. There's 4 different reports. The first relates to budget performance.
Really
Yes,
quick
sir.
question on one of the orders.
Yes, sir.
On 8.19C on the financing. That minute order is contingent on approval of financing, the Texas Public Finance Authority and the Bond Review Board. Is that pretty routine, or is there some, or do we expect any? Did they say no or?
We've navigated that process several times. It's definitely not rubber stamp, but but we definitely have navigated successfully pretty frequently. Yes, sir.
Yes.
In this case, we actually won't make that petition to the Bond Review Board. The TPFA will actually do that on our behalf.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for pausing me and asking questions. I appreciate it. Page 67 is our first report on budget performance. 67 and 68 do try to tell a similar story. The idea behind this report is it tracks both revenues and expense trends month by month, so you can kind of see a run rate for how we're doing. Historically, this is a new activity for us. We didn't really provide forecasts on revenues up till this year, and we thought this provides a more complete picture to the regents. It's an overall view of if we're really on course or off course with our original plans, and I'm pleased to say we are on course in terms of, or ahead of course in terms of our ability to accrue reserves or have a margin in our budget, and that so. On page 67, you actually have a picture of what are all the funds at TSTC, but with typical fund accounting, you get some swings with grant activities or capital activities and how it flows in and flows out. So on page 68, we have what's called core operations, and this would be more routine in terms of what we see in terms of budgeting and trending and run rates. So again, we're ahead of our original plan performance, which means we might not be as ahead in terms of our spending plans, and I think some of that relates to the activities we described yesterday in terms of strategic evaluation of where we want to allocate those resources. So we'll probably really catch up some of that spending plan during the course of the year as we look at what are our real capacity needs to go about seeing the greatest throughput objective that we can. So more to come on that. This is only the first quarter in terms of trending, so it'll tighten up in terms of our read for the rest of the year as we go along. Page 69 is a report that we do every quarter, and it relates to the appropriations full-time equivalent cap that actually occurs in our appropriations bill. We are allocated a number of FTEs per campus that's identified in the legislative bill, and we are well within our cap. Our max threshold is 1,614 FTEs, and we're about 233 FTEs below that. So the legislature really gave us some latitude during the last session, recognizing they've asked us to grow in three locations, so we have some real latitude for continuing to grow our staff.
Are those 233 FTEs crucial positions?
No, sir. I think.
Let me try on that if I could. The legislative cap is one number. The actual number of positions that we desire to have is always a smaller number than that. And then there's the actual head count we have with the vacancy. So the 233 is not the vacancy, it's the distance between the actual employees we have in the cap. We do have a significant number of openings right now. And the reason is the skills gap is impacting us in the same way that it's impacting the employers that we serve. And so we're working really hard on that. For example, in the legislature, if we get the funding that we're seeking, we will instantly and with a top priority begin to address some of the salary increases we need to do across to help improve that number.
Some of the
So the answer is, yes, some of them are crucial, but not all of them.
I think the following report's going to illustrate that as well. The second report is provided really to kind of let you see. So that first CAP report is talking about positions funded with appropriations. And so my salary is paid for by a good portion of appropriated dollars, but I think the airport funds a bit of my salary because I spend time in the airport. And so I'm not a 1.0 FTE as far as that report's concerned. And so this shows we have other funding related to how we fund positions. And with each of those, there's benefits proportionality associated with that. So if somebody's funded not with appropriations, there's actually a premium that we have to pay beyond their salary that we don't really have to pick up as much on the appropriated side. It's helpful for understanding how we fund our positions. Though you can see the overall trending over the 5-year period is we're 31 FTEs down overall, and that breaks down. We're actually up 66 from in appropriated employees that are funded through appropriations, and 97 in other. And that really relates to how our new campuses are funded. They're largely funded with a startup funding category, and it's largely appropriated funds that funds that new growth. The next page gives you a glimpse of what that looks like by campus, and then beyond that, the report on page 72 shows it by campus, by type of position. And so this is where we actually get to see the trending for 3 categories of employees: administrators, faculty, and other staff. And on the bottom, you can see it as a total. And so there's a couple of things going on with the trending. You can see for in all categories, we've actually seen a reduction in overall headcount over the last 5 years. In 2 of the 3 cases, that's probably a good thing. We really sought to really constrain or contain our expense structure with the merger, and that's the outcome we were hoping for. With the faculty, you see we're down 5 positions over the 5-year period, and that's really not the outcome we're hoping for. And it's evidence of that skills gap issue that we're struggling with. So we really are struggling with filling faculty positions, and it relates to some programs more than others, which is true of the skills gap. There's some that are more in demand than others.
Yeah, for example, right now, welders are really, really difficult, and the salaries are really high. And so a top priority for us with the legislative increases we're hoping for will be to fix that problem. We're competing against the same tight labor market that everybody else is.
Let me add, John, it's important to delineate the difference between the commitment to have those employees there versus the ability just to find them in the market right now. Mm-hmm. It's just even in a year's time, the delta is widening and the skills gap is affecting us more. So if any of you can weld, you can welcome to it.
No, more importantly, teach well.
No, if they can weld, we're going to hire them.
And page 73 is in the book. It actually, for those that like to keep score at home, this actually shows that we are allotted that initial amount of appropriations for or FTEs with appropriated dollars, and we have the latitude to transfer that across our institutions. And there's various accounting-based reasons for how we go about doing that, but just for transparency purposes, we went ahead and included that reconciliation that gets you to the actual report earlier in the book. The second to last report's on page 74. It's our periodic report on pledged collateral. We are required to provide sufficient collateral on any of our investments. We did not have any collateral busts as of our 9/30 report, so a heck of a job from Chad's team, thank you. And then the last report is on page 75. It's our quarterly investment report. And a couple notable things there. You see some consistency from period to period, which is kind of fascinating. We were at $54 million in operating funds at the end of the fiscal year, and at 11/30 we were right at $54 million in operating funds. The team works really hard to manage the cash to achieve the highest rate of yield while maintaining, safety and liquidity under the PFAI, the Public Funds Investment Act requirements. Page 76 shows the weighted average interest rates of those those investments. It compares that to a couple of benchmark rates for your review. And so I like we added that you can see the actual interest received and accrued during the course of the year. That's 2%, nothing to write home about, but profits don't come in big waves. They come in little, pennies and nickels, and we'll take them where we can get them. So that $278,000 will go to good use. And that concludes my report.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes our report.
Thank you, sir. The next section on the agenda is consent agenda. And at this time, any regent can request any item or items to be removed from the consent agenda and considered by the board as separate items. Are there any items that the board would like to move? Okay. So then the next item for action is the consent agenda. There's 11 minute orders in front of you that you've heard them discussed by the various committees. At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. It carries. It gets us down to unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business? Is there any new business? I guess the only thing I would have new business, in front of each place I put a ad hoc committee that I threw together last night, and it's based on the meeting yesterday, where we'll have an ad hoc committee take a look at the strategic plan, particularly the WIGs 1, 2, and 3, and tweak those a little bit, bring back a recommendation to the board for action on May the 16th. The ad hoc committee is made up of Ivan, Keith, and Tony. And I appreciate all of you taking time to serve on this. Okay, public comments. Any public comments? Hearing none. That gets us down through the session. The next thing is an executive session. Do we want to proceed with that, or do we want to have lunch first? We can go forward, or we can eat. Okay. It's 12 o'clock. Executive session, probably 30 minutes, maybe. Okay, move forward. All right, we're now moving into the closed meeting. The meeting of the TSTC Board of Regents held at the Conley Meeting and Conference Center in Waco, Texas on Thursday, January 31st, 2019. After proper posting in accordance with Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, for the specific purpose provided in the sections 551.71, .072, .074, will recess from open meeting into a closed meeting. At this time, the board will adhere to the following procedure in closed meeting. the public may remain in the room here, and we shall return and at that time make any comments or announcements about any proposed action. Okay, we are moving into a closed session. closed meeting of the TSTC Board of Regents is adjourned at 1:05, and the open meeting reconvenes at 1:07. No board action was taken in closed meeting. There's some discussions about items and that we did discuss, and I'll turn it over to Curtis.
Mr. Chairman, the General Administration Committee Working Group, we met this morning and we discussed the Chancellor's compensation package. The Chancellor has not received a cost of living adjustment since 2017, and no compensation recognition for what we all know has now become an outstanding reputation for TSTC with both the Texas Legislature, industry employers, and communities. So we first of all want to say job well done, Mr. Chancellor. And my co-committee member would like to say something to the team.
Yes, sir. We discussed the team, Mike, that you put together, and this is an incredible team, and we appreciate it, and want to thank all of y'all as well.
So, Mr. Chairman, the General Administration Committee is recommending, and I make a motion for the compensation package of our Chancellor to be $420,000 for 2019.
Motion, have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion by the board? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, get to do that. We're down to Chancellor comments again. Those seem to pop up every...
Funny how that happens.
Yeah.
First, let me say thank you very much. It's an honor to serve with the team that we have here at TSTC, both you, the board, and the rest of us who work every day to serve the students in the state. Thank you very much. We also owe our thanks to the events crew who make our board meetings happen, to the management crew that assembled all of the information that we had to consider yesterday and today. Endless hours go into making your board meetings as easy as possible on you in terms of making sure you always have what you need. And so we're honored to serve that way. And again, from a personal standpoint, all I can say is I'm very humbled and I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Do we have any comments of the board? Evan?
None for me.
Tiffany? Hey? Curtis?
Good job on a short meeting, Mr. Chairman.
As compared to last time, yes. Okay. Tony? Keith?
Oh, I'd just like to thank Jonathan for letting Curtis use his tie. I'd also like to thank Madeline for all the work she's done for the board. She's done a great job of serving the board in her time. Wish her well in her new position and look forward to Jennifer doing the same. So, thanks.
Thank you, sir. Okay, the next board meeting is scheduled for May the 16th here at the TSTC campus. Any other business? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned. 10.